Well, hello. How's everyone doing? And welcome to a game that I've only seen tiny bits of from the store page. It is Star Trek Telltale-like game. And you can see there's choices here. I'm not going to click that in case it spoils anything for me. So, let us begin. I hope you get to choose what branch we're in. There's no copyrighted music either. I didn't check. Shaped by the choices you make. Yep. Holy 30 FPS, Batman.
Captain's log, stardate 579.
Hello there.
Hey, Toxie.
The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission.
What era is this in?
And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them.
Right.
Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same.
Is the audio a bit low?
The nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good.
A tiny bit, yeah. Okay, I don't want to hit escape in case it
Our new
skips a
first
cutscene.
officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Okay. Oh, shit. Right, okay. It's assuming controller. Let's bring the master... Oh, not that volume. Let's bring the master volume up a bit. That's fine, that's fine. Is that all the settings? I guess I'm using controller. Okay. Also, for those interested, there may be another Baldur's Gate 3 run happening on stream. I won't be recording it for YouTube, but there might be another Baldur's Gate 3 run going through with Maple this week.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
Oh, what?
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
There's
Do
a
I use the
reason I'm
mouse and
not a
keyboard?
pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
Yeah, let's see the Resolute.
It won't be easy for Jara.
Oh, the uniform is,
Is that
Is that a Miranda class?
I knew she could become when she was a cadet at
that we are
Starfleet
in?
Academy.
That's a steam runner.
She'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
This is the combo from JJ's first Star Trek. Basically. Steam runner, Nova class, Excelsior, Centaur class. That's the Centennial, okay. The star of the Trek, indeed. So which one is the one we're going? That's the Nova. That's not the Resolute. Change of station. Okay, this is looking like Deep Space Nine era? Voyager / Deep Space Nine. Okay, now it's giving me keyboard and mouse. Am I actually stuck at 30 frames. No, I don't exit game. Resume.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Okay, space brings up the menu as well for some reason. Frame stuck. Yep.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy.
Really?
That's pretty
quite
nice.
impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
I frames Jeffrey's Tube, A5. Yep.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds.
Rydek.
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander.
I was gonna start. Hey, another real devil test,
Sorry,
nothing.
I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure is mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe
What you
Commander
said there, Car,
Irma is
reminds me of
expecting you.
Men in
He's in
Black
the
when they burn
concourse
off his
just ahead.
fingerprints.
See you on the Resolute.
Okay. So does it actually say what year it is? One sec. Wait, that's the Resolute is a Centaur class. Hells yeah. Any year? No year. Okay, I can sprint though.
Good day, Commander.
Starbase 128. Wow, the ship is really not in good shape.
If I remember my briefing, Commander Irma is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
Okay, so how many Bolians are there here? I only see the one Bolian.
Starbase 128 has 4 docks.
Okay, cool, I guess.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board. Excuse me.
Now, how many pips do you have? 3, yeah, Commander.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Irmat, Operations Officer on the Resolute.
Do I need to turn the audio up more?
Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now. I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was perfectly fine. No trouble at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
Okay.
We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice.
He's a full commander, but he's
Everything
not
I've
a
read and
command
everything I've heard, we're
track.
lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War.
This is post-Dominion War.
Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework.
Like I said, we're very lucky.
Centaur class.
The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own.
Yeah,
And
that's
she doesn't
the...
look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
Equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was...
Oh, it's O'Brien. I thought it was.
Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
It's fine now. So
Did you lose anyone close to you?
Too many. And to that I'll just say, you have big shoes to fill. Listen, I realize
Frankly,
you've
it's so
known
weird.
Captain Solana for quite some time, and I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Thank you. Always good to have a sense for what you're walking into.
I just thought you ought to know.
I appreciate it.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region.
press enter to... Grateful, sense of humor, nervous and short, good first impression. Okay, cool. Oh, I get to play as 2 people, I guess? Let's up the audio a bit more. I think it could do with it.
I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
He is an enlisted man. I don't think he's chief. Did we finish him, by the way? Yeah, we finished him on 2.
I got just the thing.
Oh my god, mouse movement! Interphasic, hyperspanner. Plasma torch. Need 10 hours? You have 5, I'll do it in 3. Okay, keep it centered. So for those who don't know, the Centaur... So there was the original series that had the Constitution class and the Miranda class. Then in one of the original films, when there was the Enterprise B, I think? Yeah, the Enterprise B came out with the Excelsior class. And just as the Miranda was the Constitution, the Centaur is the Excelsior. Okay, I can't... I'm not a Star Trek nerd, I swear.
That is that.
Know some of those words separately. So, basically, the lower decks, the generation of this ship is between Kirk and Picard in that span of years. That's where the ship originates
I thought
from.
that thing was totally fried.
That is an OSHA problem.
Nice
Spacious
work,
batteries
Carter.
leak.
Nothing to it, Millie.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Yep, so these are class... I can't remember what class they are. Let's wait. Bro, do you even lift?
Come on!
Oh, these are heavier than they look. Makes more sense than zero G. You're welcome.
Carter
Okay, let's go.
Diaz!
Yep, that's my name. Oh, this is very TNG era interior. This looks like it could be a retrofit. A Centaur that was retrofit in the TNG era and is now being used post-Dominion War. It's not new by any stretch of the imagination.
Engineer.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious.
Let's be optimistic. Let's be positive about work. We're working in
Looks like we got here
space,
before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
in like utopia.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Ed Solar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you.
He's a Vulcan, let's be straight and serious.
A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edzelar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
So, I don't suppose
Interesting.
you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to
Is it bad
depart
that I
shortly,
get what they're talking
despite
about?
the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations.
Okay.
Because long-range sensors show that
Would
these
you like or
disturbances
not
will
like
be
to
more
have him as a
severe at our
boss?
destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander
that.
Chovak.
I wanted to talk to well the
All hands on
Vulcans.
deck.
It wasn't
What's that?
overnight,
All
it was an
hands on
apology.
deck. That's what Chovak said.
Normal boss.
You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
It all comes down to us, Nilly. We're the ones who'll get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me.
A lot of new faces coming on board.
The rest of the boss don't fuck
It's
up
gotta
and
be
we're
tough
good.
coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board doesn't hurt.
This
Hold
game
on.
definitely is missing some polish, but
Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again.
if the
Hey,
chance of
Miranda,
Vulcan starts to get a
weren't gonna
grudge on
leave
you,
without
yeah.
me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
Transfer came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm gonna take the high road here, pretend you didn't say that, and welcome you aboard.
He's a better diplomat than I am.
He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Because he won't show it.
Oh, yeah, it's
Or
coming
he'll
back to
tell
me.
you directly.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Let's take the helmet.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
This game has
So what's the
charm,
word?
but doesn't
Are
have
you back in
polish.
Security rotation?
Yep.
I can live
Still
with that.
running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls.
Yeah, just walking out into a fucking storm. Sure, why not? Be fine. The storm's kind of over there, quote unquote. I would love to go to space. I'm not going to be able to in my lifetime, but space would be so cool.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Assuming this is more of a Telltale, main characters don't die unless until dawn. I actually don't know. I'm assuming you're right that it's more Telltale than whatever that other company is called. Steam Runner.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily.
Wait,
You'll
what?
have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home.
You see,
And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
in Star Trek, they assist with any differences medically you might need, as opposed to just going, "Oh no, sorry, I can't have you." Model train. Interesting.
He's still got a thing for trains.
And part of the sheet music is filled at
The
45
warp
degrees.
engines of their day, apparently.
Oh, you okay there, camera?
I can't believe he keeps this around. Don't even know where mine is.
Yeah, I don't think you just lose your graduation
The
certificate.
first mineral Captain Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type.
Okay, so he's human. Yeah, for everything he's human.
Can't wait to plot a course myself. Just a sip of something.
He.
Tea. That's lovely.
Jara Ryder.
Why does he look like J. Jonah Jameson?
Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrit Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome.
It's a picture of Spider-Man.
The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know the details.
Starfleet has been kind enough to keep the story contained. Probably because they want to protect me. But I don't mind telling you. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the
I don't know why they didn't use a
pressure gradient way beyond what the
Oh,
ship could handle.
what's that other science ship?
It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people.
There's another ship that does it.
As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
We all know the risks when we sign up. There are no guarantees. As much as we tell ourselves otherwise.
True. But as captain, my job is to mitigate and manage the risks as much as possible.
Let me just check something.
And that's where I failed. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. And I think that
The
cost me
Oberth.
confidence.
That's the class.
I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission.
Well, that's the job of an XO.
Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
Whether I agree or disagree, I can promise that I'll be honest to a fault.
Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, it has to be my call. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here.
You just told me the last person to
We
agree
need
with
a
you
win.
ended up dead.
Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before.
It's a weapon.
And you'll
I'm calling
never
it now.
guess where it leads.
Hatari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
Who is the senior diplomat we're escorting?
That I don't know. Starfleet hasn't said. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Thank you.
Come. Let me
Okay,
introduce
he's happy.
you-
I seem to be making everyone happy. That's good. That's not going to last for long, I bet, though. It's the Bridica. Okay, this is very much a clash of Dominion era and Golden Age era.
If I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well,
The Joran.
what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our chief science officer.
We have so many commanders on here.
Come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
Okay, Lieutenant.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time,
Night Stalker.
and I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
That's very kind of you to say, but enough about me. We have a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway. If they drag their feet any longer, we won't make our rendezvous. The bridge is yours.
Alrighty. So how do we crash this?
Operations. Staffing, supplies. There's a lot to keep track of on a starship. Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
Fire on missiles. Torpedo the station. Okay, comms.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels.
Master system display?
So many decks.
Oh, really?
Full of crew that are now my responsibility. Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Okay, this is science? Okay, can't select it. Here's science.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later.
A lift. Hello there. And here's the helm.
The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers.
The fangirl is
Wait
the
to see
weapons
what she
commander.
can do.
Won't be an issue at all. It's fine. Tactical hollow. What the fuck is
Tactical
this?
hollow dais,
This is new.
just like they've got on the Excelsior.
Or at least memory is fortunate. This is the exo
The
chair.
first officer seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano.
Commander,
All right.
Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
Vision blue. I'm guessing that just means in for repair or something.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter. Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
By the way, those red things
No.
are Buzzard Ram Scoops. It's for collecting
Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the
elements
machinery.
as they fly through space.
Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
I am more than that. And so are you. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere.
Seems the crew living close to them will be living in the red light district. But on Tish,
Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the Sif emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
okay, let's get the
Beginning
metal
recalibration.
detector. In the nose, the center circular. Ah, that's what it wants me to do. Okay, I think that's
Looks
worked.
good. That wasn't so hard.
That's definitely not like a bomb.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive.
Alright, asshole.
Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case,
Maybe I should have
is an
been
odd
EXO
choice
guy.
for first
Yeah.
officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
As the ring tells her she needs an infusion.
You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
That's very kind of you to be concerned about my well-being. But you don't need to trouble yourself on my account. I'll be fine.
Well, I wouldn't say I was concerned, just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable.
She needs
and
an
his
infusion or else her
reputation
cells fall
was
apart.
I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on
I think he's just
Starbase,
neutral.
let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the
It's more
moment,
that I
can't
think
tell you if the Resolute will shrug it
I
off
think
or
the
if we're putting
non-human
ourselves at
half,
risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns,
their
its
planet, they would get
nature,
it naturally,
we
but
can
it's
come
not
up with a
naturally occurring
scientific
elsewhere.
countermeasure. Just a moment.
Wave inbound. On screen.
Tracing its trajectory.
Starbase docking clamps are holding.
The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy. Like a tsunami.
Red alert.
I'm reading power abnorm.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Commander Westbrook, use the deflector dish.
Already working on it. Optimal timing displayed. It's going to be tight.
Good. Send the pulse on my command. Now.
I fucked up.
That was too early.
Did we die? Yep.
Commander Westbrook, use the deflector dish.
Already working on it. Optimal timing displayed. It's going to be tight.
Good. Send the pulse on my command. Now.
We got it. This is it.
All hands, brace for impact.
Oh, the same thing happened to Warp Core happened last time.
Experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
It can blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
Okay, let's do that. No, I don't have to travel there. Good.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Okay. Is this how you do it? Just swap chips around?
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Or leave that open to change
Heads
it
up,
afterwards.
Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Okay. That worked.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Oh, there's a timer on the bottom left. Risk of FOD. Can you fuck off, please?
Are you alright?
Yeah. Suit took most of it. Just snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%. We're
You
almost
guys
to the regulator.
fuck off. I didn't know they could fucking sneak up behind me. The bridge would have registered phaser firearms. What the fuck is going on out there? Unless they know this.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Wait, what do I have to do?
The EPS lines to the port warp engine are back in balance.
I think I just skipped over it.
It's done.
And I came to
Once I
this.
cycle the manifold nozzles, Chobot can...
Oof. That's not good for the plating. That scratched the paint. Okay, the fuck? How about you, like, get down?
Get down! Dance to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. Hull vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We
safest
have people
way to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Chara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Oh, he really hated that.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Come on.
3, 2, 1. Mark!
Grab my hand.
Yep, you're right, Kara.
I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Come on. Fucking. Come on. Up you go. Maybe there's someone else here that can help me. Don't hop in with you. Well, thank you very much, Horizon. Yeah, grab her.
I got you. Petty Officer Edselar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
I think I made the right choice by polarizing the hull.
I'm at the auxiliary
Space, thank you. How about you enter the fucking hatch?
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
Captain's fucking pissed at me, but whatevs. See, that happens. Yep.
We made it.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
I just want that little scene from Glorious Bastards. Like, I want to be chewed out. I've been chewed out before.
Nilly.
I'm good. Help me with him.
Oh, he's going to become a zombie. Yeah, he's going to become a zombie. Look at him.
Medical. I've got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good.
You know what's more energy efficient than that?
You gotta be
Wheels.
more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
There's a reason why wheels were such a big invention. Alright.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion
This is from
some of the
2023?
staff,
Yeah.
we can make our
That's why I
departure
said there's no very little
As of
polish.
Now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Yep. mean, yeah.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I
You
did what I thought was...
disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are.
Well, I made him from angry to neutral to me. That's good.
And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart.
See, there we go.
So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermont, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out.
See, I'm balancing it.
Yes, sir.
I'm balancing it. Well, that's a tall ship. What's that from? Except, objectively, her actions resulted in
All
a
departments
more
reporting
positive
full
outcome.
Mission readiness.
And the crew like her.
We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Okay.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
I won't always be able to go against the captain, I think. Sometimes the captain will be right.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Clamps, wait, we have more than one. Yeah. This is from Wrath of Khan inspired music. 100%. In the Discord, I'm going to post sort of the Wrath of Khan theme, and you'll see what I mean. I figured they may have reclamped to finish repairs. Also, the captain had to get on. He got to transport it, but still.
There, that should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
Okay, cruising speed.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
Do it Janeway.
Helm. Do it.
Yeah, we're going Janeway. Guy piloting the ship, just hands off the wheel.
Nicely done.
Whoa. Careful.
Thank you. I'm fine.
Really,
You don't look fine.
Let's check our own ego, if I have the option to.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside.
You could have like a Deridium bar or something.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on him, but he'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your Deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer.
Hello.
To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Deridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind.
Isn't this like breaking
which is never a good
doctor-patient?
The lives of your crew are at stake.
Doctor-patient,
What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. Breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
I think after what happened, Captain Solano's learned his lesson. And whatever ambition he once had is on hold for a while.
He may say that, but we'll see what happens. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge.
Okay, she likes me too.
It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess
Here's one thing, as long as she doesn't actually allow medical info to be mentioned.
And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Deridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Can't go see the crewman that was injured? No?
Sorry, I didn't mean to be lurking outside of sickbay.
Because you were,
I
deliberately.
didn't want to intrude, so it felt more appropriate to wait out here. We were all worried about you. Or I should say I was. I wasn't sure what was happening at first. But then I realized it was your condition.
I don't want anyone to worry about me. I'm gonna be just fine. This is part of who I am, but I've never let it define me.
I get that now. And I promise I'll try not to let being such a jerk define me either. You trusted my intuition earlier, with the deflector.
Why does he like me less now?
I felt I should thank you for that.
Well, thank you for coming. Even though you didn't have to.
I wanted to.
Now, Carter, the emissions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already.
Bitch, you have no work to do?
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
I hear you've been checking in on me. Thanks for that.
One of the benefits of working a security rotation. Lots of opportunities to walk by sickbay and stop in. Millie was
Use
looking
security.
at you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Then come on. Just spit it out.
I'm trying. Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Her or the other one?
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure.
Well, I just mean, seeing me in here, after we almost got killed out on the hull.
I felt this way before that, Carter. I like you. And I think there could be something more for us.
Friends or not?
So, what do you say?
You know what? You know what? Fuck it.
I like you too, Miranda. And I'd like to see where this goes.
Good. I was really hoping you'd say that.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course.
Why was she blurry?
I'll see you again soon.
Sometimes one of these weird love triangle thing.
Reaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types. I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer.
It won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Okay, let's do it. Do we play as him now? Or no?
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Hey Renee, how are you doing? Ah, it's from the actual USS Excelsior.
Come on,
Interesting.
Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Yeah, USS Excelsior.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Come on. Well, you only have one engineer to do everything. Well, he's the protagonist.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Ryder, plot an intercept course.
On it. Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Did we check to make sure that no fragments would hit it? Speedy. Just slam the shuttle in. I think you gave the whiplash, yeah.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Okay. So who was the diplomat?
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Wait, is this before? Is this before Leonard Nimoy died? Can't be. Could it? No. When did he die?
Captain, we'll be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
He doesn't exactly sound like him, but I could just be wrong.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
Our arrival was the smoothest part of our journey. Your artistry with the tractor beam is commendable. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space.
I want to check after the
My
stream.
craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies.
Interesting.
What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
I'd rather investigate than speculate.
A sound principle.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical. Petty Officer...
It's not Nimoy?
Carter
Cool,
Diaz.
thanks.
Sir.
It's close, but not quite.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Just hearing the ship fucking creak. Oh, here's the meeting room.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused
Yeah,
on
now
the
you can hear it's
present
definitely not
circumstances.
him.
I didn't mean
I know you said it's not him,
suggest
but I'm
you
just talking
were stuck
about
in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed. And the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
What's that sound?
Ilidia and Hotari. Ilidians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Ilidians have shared a mining operation there. The Ilidians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Ilidians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Have the Ilidians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Ilidian fleet in open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
Already went against the captain once.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to accept a difficult compromise.
Made all the more difficult by the emotions flaring on both sides, no doubt.
Neither the Ilidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Ilidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Ilidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Ilidian fleet has had problems with it as well.
I'm not talking much this playthrough, but there's a lot of talking in the game.
Temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek
Is he just
will
going to be
have more luck
constantly
finding out
neutral?
what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend
Most
on
loophole bullshit thing ever. Yep. The Next Generation was filled with loophole bullshit. It was great. Doesn't
Mr.
look happy.
Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
When you look at it logically, yes, it is just a shuttle. No different than any of the others.
There is plenty that is different about it, and that is what you are to investigate. But please limit your findings to observable scientific phenomena.
We'll try to restrain ourselves.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
Even Chovok has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first. I don't know what I was thinking. You did the smart thing.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for. But first, we have work to do.
Fucking computer out of nowhere.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Alright, what needs to do it? Yeah, just 2-finger tap everything, you know. Welcome to the future.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you.
Everything is
All
right
because
click, yeah.
things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me. And I know you'll respect that.
That's not gonna happen, okay? And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Clearly, error 14720, error 15302, and error 93224. Warp field inversion.
Warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp
Number
cascade
404.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation. Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other.
I'll check the coils.
Not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
How about we power them off first, then being lit up like track order, record on its data. Use 2. Must close. So just scan them. Jesus fuck. Okay. You can enter deep scan. During a deep scan queue, you need to switch between different scan modes. Search for glowing objects. Link as an object, and you've scanned all objects in the frame. So. Bring to show items routine maintenance to repair. No fractures detected. Okay. On my stage, produce no deviations.
I checked every coil
Engineers,
on the port
say what on the show?
If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Oh, scanner. Oh, Jesus fuck, yeah.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
No, that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
Oh, why is my
All aboard.
headphones? Sorry. Maple, thank you very much. My headset has done a fucky wucky. Why is there no audio going to my headset right now? How are you doing? Is there any sound coming through? Yes, there is. But why is this? Yeah. God. Keeping it PG. How are you doing, Double? I need to figure out what's going on with these. But yeah, thank you very much for the raid. Music. No, that's not working. God, these headphones. Why do they do this to me? Snake. Here. No. Is this just not working? If I just... Okay, I'm reconnecting the headphones to try and test it off and on again. That's what I'm doing right now, actually. Usually there's other things I can do to get it working. Right now I'm trying to get... Again, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Audio. Should be back. Let's go back to live. Yes, how are you doing, Maple? How are your games?
Hotari!
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
And it stopped again. What is happening? Okay, so wait for it to reconnect. I'm very sorry about this. This is an intermediary set of headphones until my new ones arrive. And they are a few years old, and they don't seem to be connecting to PC. Sounds, music. Cool. If I click this and have this going, that's fine. Keep that audio going. It seems like I have to have something going on in the background that's constantly playing. Is that a hornet emote? I need it. Same.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More important things on my mind.
Focus. There's a reason why they don't show kisses in video games, because animating them is god-awful. Red flags everywhere.
That was nice.
What red flags?
Save some of that for when I get back.
You've got a deal.
Be seeing you.
Or death flags. Oh, yeah, true. I have to choose between her and Nilly, I think.
Etzelarda Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go.
Okay, chat,
All
would
right,
you join
where were we?
Starfleet?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
Okay.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
But as a weapon.
The subspace variance was a momentary occurrence.
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula.
You should have gotten the voice actors for Edie for this.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
You could go warp 1. It'll just take a while. You get out of range. Down in Star Trek Fair, almost everyone of a species by the same thing.
We are honored you have come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydek, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation, the reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen.
He
But
sounds like the voice
way,
actor for Adam
we're
Jensen.
grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
They space orc? I don't know.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
Okay, yeah.
If you'll excuse me.
They're gargling enough gravel for Jensen.
I think we're about to begin.
Is that Liam O'Brien again?
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy?
Liam O'Brien?
I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
Something about his tone tells me this won't be easy.
That was my sense as well.
I doubt he speaks for all of Hotari, so I would urge patience until we speak with their queen.
I mean, some of this game looks beautiful, and some of this game looks dog water. It's so strange. Of course we're going to bow.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Holtari Prime.
Bowing is an insult.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
I'm sure Spock wouldn't have bowed if it was an insult.
One of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Holtari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule.
I know it means different in different cultures. I'm saying that Spock would have done his homework.
We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
Saying this wouldn't be easy was an understatement. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Weird neutral, yeah, right.
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not
She
part
can
of...
speak for herself, can't she? Then let her. Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet!
Hmm.
If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to
Be
get
honest.
out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
If the opportunity presented itself, and I wish that it had, more than you can know, then I would right the wrong without hesitation. For the sake of the Kobliad, we suffered enough.
Of course you would. It would be foolish to do otherwise. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines.
I said they would
and it's
think
in
we're
your
not.
interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the
I
interest
told them that this would happen.
peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but it's really not my place to say what the Federation's interests might be.
You are their representative.
I am. But Ambassador Spock
Doesn't Magic
is
create
better
anything?
suited to address your concerns.
Because they need resources to do that.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without a Lydian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them
Yeah, exactly,
more
Toxie.
technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Elidians?
I have to side with the Hotari. There's not going to be a chance.
One or the other, not both.
If I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred.
Just the captain in turn.
We'll take back our mines by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
What other choice of manpower? Well, no, the Elidians are stronger.
I suppose there is some sense to that. I hope we meet again, Jara Ryder.
Yeah, just get thrusted into a position was not meant for.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers.
Apparently too
We
good
need
an
to
asset
find
that we
out why
left
the
the squabbling
Hotari are
groups.
so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
They dug too greedily and too deep. Fancy rifle. Can I go in the water? I can't. Shit. Hey there. What do you think? You're not going to say anything. Hey there. What do you think?
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Elidians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
Even though the Hotari should have control of the mines, some of the Elidian claims are still valid.
There you're wrong, but we can agree to disagree.
Elidian Storm Rage.
I assume you were there the day the mines were seized from the Elidians.
Not seized, reclaimed, and restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there.
Radius Earthian plays
We
our
had to be
dilithium.
decisive, before the Elidians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
Did you have help from someone else?
Hotari stands alone against the Elydian forces. We don't need help from anyone. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Elydians might have in store.
You just were and crack that sucker in half.
Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
I wouldn't say state of the art, but the Resolute is plenty capable and can hold its own against just about anything.
Let's hope so. Because at the moment, it's the only thing preventing them from wiping us off the map.
Sidron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Okay. So that happened.
Commander Rydek, I'm encouraged to see the Federation supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
The Elydians have no right to your land. It was clear which side was more deserving of our recognition.
It's so different to have someone on our side. These are unusual times, to say the least.
Don't you ever explain why the Federation isn't running Megacorps at this point?
I saw you
Because
speaking
this is
to
it's a
Sidron,
post-scarcity
national
society. Therefore, there
Curious, what did he
is
say?
He seems to be of the opinion that
ideally
negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he
ideally
understands. He's a minor, not a
that
diplomat.
everyone can get what they want, and therefore working is purely for
For the first time in
self-improvement
our history, the Hotari have
and the
been
betterment of
brave.
society.
We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
I get the sense you don't exactly trust them.
I don't trust
Yeah, because
their
Resource
instincts,
fuels the ships.
which are leading us to war. My fear has been that the Elydians will launch an attack and crush us.
Almost everything is barter.
You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound,
It's post-scarcity for the person on the
almost say they're
grind.
afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Do you think it has something to do with the ion storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Elydians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference. Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. Maybe
It'll be fucking
worries,
Borg
but
tech.
Everyone pretends it doesn't exist.
Or
Strongly suspect
Iconian.
They're hiding something.
Are you sure of this?
It's been the talk of the palace since the day of the revolt.
How can we know?
I'd better see what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you. I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
Cool.
Sorry, I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured in the interest of fairness, I should offer
Everyone.
perspective.
Honestly, I was thinking that.
Of course.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality, as does any hope you might have for a supply of dilithium in the future. So, why you would choose to side with the Hotari escapes me. Without Illidian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. Clearly, you weren't aware.
Of all my concerns, dilithium is not one of them. I could care less about securing a supply, now or in the future.
I'd be curious to know if the rest of the Federation shares your indifference. Major Salit Arminta, Special Attaché, Illidian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least, that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
Something
We're the
tells me there's
Federation.
more to the story.
We weren't even a diplomat.
So what really happened?
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story.
Well, we shouldn't be.
They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
You. Space again. Some space magic time.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Ryder.
Sorry. We're snacking on Pringles. I can't pull out a phaser and just start shooting. Pringles.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Illidians stormed out.
That's unexpected.
Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Trust me, bro. LTT, trust me, bro, guarantee.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound
Banders,
investigatory
yep.
principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
This one, who's the third party? Green energy? I want to say the Borg. Klingons? Nah, Klingons don't do this kind of subterfuge shit. At least not typically.
Setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
WD, turn, QE.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We're standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
But then again, the Vulcans and the motions and a bitch factor.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
The motions and bitch factor. House Harkonnen.
Jovak
Oh, the
isn't such a fun
Romulans.
guy to work for, huh?
I just don't take it personally. At least I try not to.
That's a very mature answer. Shows a positive attitude on your part. Remind me of it when I start complaining to you about the ship's new first officer.
Okay. Let's stay on track.
This is far enough.
Those big unlabeled buttons.
Transporting the first probe into position.
Why couldn't we transport it from the ship? It's well within transporter range.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem?
Don't get me wrong. Things are definitely trending up with Commander Rydek. She's put my ideas into action. And she listened to me when your life was on the line out on the hull.
That sounds like a good thing.
It is. But I'm still trying to figure out if she's right for the job. She didn't go through what the rest of us did. Still got chosen to be #1. Can't tell if she was actually siding with me, or if we just fell on the same side.
Well, yeah, but she's lucky she didn't go through what we did.
My ideas.
You can't hold it against her.
Actually, I think I can, even if I shouldn't.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe
He
out there.
noticed me.
With 2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. And don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean,
Let's just say thanks for the
said that
advice.
about Chovak. Sure.
I appreciate the advice, Commander. I'll make sure I keep my options open.
I don't need to tell you how to operate. You're already well on your way. You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up
They
the
have
good
marked
work.
damage in the
Who
warp
knows?
nacelles.
A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too. Of course, if you get an officer's commission, they'll put you on another ship.
You know, I'd be the best leader Starfleet ever had. Lower decks always have to fix all the problems Command causes. Maybe I just save everybody some steps.
Well, don't forget about us little people when you're running things.
Of course not. You gotta remember where you came from.
Okay, he likes me. That's good. Which I got pulled into the ready room. This is... For a shuttle, this is quite slow.
Here. This is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1. On.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
5 miles per
What
hour.
about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
Perseverance peaks.
We got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more. Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is
I
doing
told
this
you.
intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
We're under attack and we didn't even know it. We need to stop them. Unplug whatever it is they're hitting us with.
Now, look here. It's current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations. They line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
Yep. SpaceX is here.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board.
That's no moon.
Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship.
Slavery is a petty local conflict.
This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illidians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation.
As a Balrog. Yep.
Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Given their indifference to the negotiations, and what we now know about this warp-disrupting
We were
weapon,
teammates of
it's
Viltrumite.
almost
Maybe
as
it's
if they
them.
want to start a war. And Sidron was convinced the only thing the Illidians respect is force.
I would say he's right about that. But at least they know when to hold back.
But that does not explain why they would turn their aggressions against us.
I don't think the Illidians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hatari miners somehow harness the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Oh, Cookie.
Doing
Let's
that
go
is
there.
beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Illidians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hatari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Okay, let's see what she has to say.
Galvin and Citron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
That's Iconian, I think.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy.
He does anti-shake tech and tricorder.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It was hard to tell.
We have to help her. Send another shuttle.
We're
or
not
maybe...
doing anything yet. Not until we know more. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Okay, he likes me now.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute.
Kryptonite.
If this came from the mines, but it might be the
I'm almost
key to how
100%
they got
sure
the
it's
upper hand
Iconian.
against the Illidians.
Then we
PlayStation
have to
6.
go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We were, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption. And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines,
Nobody gets the mines.
covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I have to admit that the irrational is quite
I'll
fascinating.
join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
I didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Took some damage on the way. That ionic interference scored the hull plate.
It's always
Might be some
the
minor
protagonists that do all the work.
Let's try pulling together.
All right.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage.
There's all those high rep bridge guys on the Death Star Command Bridge.
Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Mouse, move! That's the plasma welding. I need the interlock. Oh, I guess that's the only thing. Or the fancy name.
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
Mouse, move!
Here, I'll help.
That's just like a wrench.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Our protection space,
I
OSHA.
wouldn't
Yeah.
say everything, but I know my stuff.
I can see that.
Why does she like
Come
me
on,
less now?
Start pulling chips.
The fuck? Yeah, there's no indication on the paneling of what should go where.
What's this?
Some kind of crystal formation?
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level.
90,000
What's it
sieverts.
doing
Yeah.
in there?
Wait. Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in
Dead
secure
instantly.
confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
Why is she getting so
No.
upset?
Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Well, if it's not natural, then someone might have put it there. It could be a tracking device, some kind of sabotage, or even a bomb.
Which is why we need to get it to the containment lab.
Come on.
I can't make an exception. Not even for you.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are.
The space rock.
But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels. We shouldn't do this alone.
We're at the edge of the quadrant. Help isn't just gonna pop over like we're in Sector 001.
Wouldn't hurt to try.
You talk like you've never had your backs up against a wall before. This is Starfleet. We solve our own problems.
Okay, stand back.
Now, is she just going to reach for it, or what? Oh, she's going to transport it.
Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core. Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
For a
Why would she
second,
be
I
such a
thought
bitch,
she'd
though?
gone cold on you. Like she might have
Harassment.
changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening
He did
so
seem
fast.
off.
But she usually doesn't scare easy.
Yeah, there was something a little off about her.
Like that talk about sending a distress call? That was pretty out there. She was probably just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
I don't know if that's what their current state of liking me is, or what.
Me, and Miranda too.
Commander Rydek.
There's no... There's, like, any differences? I don't know, that's weird.
Was able to work behind the scenes during the negotiations and made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylus. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari Palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydek, if you want to take it from here.
Of course. Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has
Making
come
so
across
many
this
fucking
before,
assumptions there.
the
Yep.
system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with Federation records.
Displaying symbols from Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to further analyze.
Okay. I just use it for the British Museum.
99.2% match.
Got it.
The Takan Empire?
So,
What the fuck are they?
what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Khan Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takan were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Takan technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Takan is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
And very well known for their use of unobtainium.
I can't speculate about how much they know, but one thing's for sure. They know how to use it.
Indeed.
Which might explain how they seized control of the mines.
And targeted us with a weapon that prevents warp travel.
Computer, what is the last recorded discovery of other Takan artifacts?
On stardate 41386.4, the USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Takan outpost in the Delphi Ardu system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship. The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire.
Unbreakable energy
Yeah.
training field. It starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
Someone
Portal
from the
6-3.
Takan Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan
In
Empire?
areas where the flower
The
cards would be.
entity known as
Basically.
Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Takan Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Takan outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the
So everything's
Enterprise was
universe.
released from the energy draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
Picard mentioned.
As I have said,
And Riker
they
mentioned.
were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy.
What sort of planet is Delphi Ardu 4?
Delphi Ardu 4 is an M-class planet, a barren rocky world with little to no vegetation and frequent ion storms. The giant crystals that grow there absorb energy,
Trying to
but it is
seduce
not
her all.
understood how they do so. The entire Delphi Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 6-3.
Frequent ion storms. That can't just be a coincidence.
Must see which season that episode was in.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi Ardu system or attempting to make contact with
And Order
Portal
7, that was with a
6-3.
different system as well. I can't remember.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
You had Riker, and that's and the fact that it was a total fabrication. It wasn't. It wasn't true. You're wrong. What was it?
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, what else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Takan used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully
These words get rid of the
understood.
ion shield. Yep.
Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then current Starfleet science.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
Tetrametric.
We have Takan technology on board right now?
We might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Takan technology and can control it, I see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
There's only one way to find out. We need to see what's down there for ourselves.
I might be able to help with that. We've been able to triangulate the source of the ionic interference and warp disruption to a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know
Cool.
where to look.
Cool. We're to send Shepard, Commander Shepard, yeah?
Commander Rydek's right. We need to know what's down there, what the Hotari are hiding, to better understand what we're up against, and to neutralize it if we can.
Captain, embarking on a mission to the Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
I just want to make sure this doesn't blow up in our faces. Which is why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydek on a covert mission to Tau.
You have to contact as a war asset? Hells yeah.
Assuming you're up to the task. It would require absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
I'll get the away team in and out. They're in safe hands with me.
Under normal circumstances, that would be the case. But given the sensitive nature of this incursion, I'm afraid you'll have to go it alone. I'm hoping Tylus can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality and aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
Yes, sir. I'll do everything in my power to make sure no one knows I'm there.
Good. Of course, you'll have full support from the Resolute.
Orbital bombings.
Make sure we take every precaution.
Every precaution.
Up, right, down, down, down. Throw.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary arrangements as discreetly as possible.
Bridge to Captain Solano. The Illidians have moved additional ships to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime? Doing so will provide Commander Rydek as much time as possible to complete her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
Stealth. There's pockets in that uniform. I'm about democracy somehow. Yeah, just transport in the 500-kilogram bomb into the mine.
Petty
This is
Officers
very
Diaz
Enterprise
and
D.
Ensilar, where is the crystal formation that you found in the shuttle? I have tasked Ensign Calloway with performing a full analysis of the tetrametric pulses.
Security brought it to the containment lab.
I was just there. They don't know anything about it. Security never checked it in.
Miranda never got there?
She's the one that had the crystal formation?
Yeah. Her and the rest of the security detail from the negotiations.
Diaz, Tamaris.
What the fuck
Carter
is she?
Diaz to Miranda Maris.
But she kissed you.
Commander Westbrook to Petty Officer Miranda Maris. Respond.
Something's not right.
Could have guessed
She's
this.
still on the ship. She has to be.
Computer, locate Petty Officer Miranda Maris.
Petty Officer Miranda Maris is in the isolinear storage array on Deck 5.
I'll go find her.
Good.
I am sure Mr. Diaz can attend to this
Yeah,
on his own.
don't send backup to a weird situation. Welcome to the server room. Everyone go one at a time. Everyone get a thing where, like, the kind of cartilage around a nostril feels, like, really sore as if it's broken, but it's, like, not. Cool, thanks for that info.
Someone improperly pulled these isolinear chips.
Oh, can't go through there. Make sure you take exactly the kind of ammo that potential enemies are using.
Who did this?
Maybe these should be, you know, like, blocked or something. Maybe need No worries, Kara. You sleep well. Yeah, stairs aren't a thing. It's ladders and turbo lifts. Realistic, Reggie would totally be hiding out in here playing Space Candy Crush. True. That's walled off? Yes.
What the?
Oh, it's just you. I'm busy right now. Why don't you come back later?
I called you on the comm badge. Twice. Commander Westbrook, too. Why didn't you answer?
Oh, I guess I was just caught up in my work.
Yeah, they're booping.
But I'm through here, so I can't stay and chat. I have other things to do. Sorry you came all this way for nothing.
What exactly were you doing in here? I saw you accessing files. Copying them onto that.
This is secure data. It's really not my place to talk about it. Look, I appreciate that you came to check on me, but I'm fine. You worry too much. We're on a starship. Nothing's gonna happen to me here.
I'm worried because you're acting strange.
PlayStation Portable, yeah.
I don't know what it is you're really doing in here, but Commander Westbrook said the crystals you took never made it to the containment lab.
Will you drop it? I don't like being interrogated, Carter.
Hey!
Phaser her.
Wait up.
Phaser her. Phaser her.
I'm getting some very mixed signals from you right now. I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress right now.
Phaser her.
Just tell Chovak or whoever I don't know where the crystals are, and let me go about my business.
I'll try to do anything.
I know we have some things to figure out. I don't have time to stand around and debate with you.
Let me help you.
Not right now.
I want to help you, but you're not making it easy.
Then I'll try to make it simple. You don't have to say anything at all.
I knew it was a mistake.
Hold on.
No. Get out of my way.
Right, that's it. We're done.
So I see you found each other.
You were taking so long, the commander sent us to see what the problem was. Diaz, you were sent here with specific orders, and fighting your crewmate wasn't one of them. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just let them explain.
I'd like to hear that, because I know what it looks like.
There's something seriously wrong with her. She's not herself, I'm telling you.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm throwing you under the bus.
She was copying data onto this.
This drive is unauthorized.
There are ISOs all over the floor.
And that's why I was in here, investigating this situation. And when Carter came looking for me, we got our wires crossed. It wasn't anything more than that.
Check the data on this drive. I'm sure it'll show her access codes were used. And there were probably files copied while I was still with you two in engineering.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Then get someone down here who can prove that. But until then, I have to go.
Nope.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think we need to call it into security. She can explain herself in the brig.
Hold on a minute. We don't need to put this on anyone's permanent record.
Yes, we do.
Carter said you're not yourself. If something's wrong with you, we should head to sickbay and the doc will fix you right up.
Yeah, I haven't felt right since I came back from Hotari. I think I should see the doctor.
You two know her? If you really think she's not well, we can take her to sickbay first. But what I know is this is a security breach, and we should treat it as such.
Please, just let me go see the doctor.
She did have a bumpy ride back on the shuttle. Come on, Carter. We should get her taken care of.
You better be sure about this.
Nope, we're playing it safe.
This is Petty Officer Diaz. I need a security team to Deck 5.
This is unbelievable.
You have to be sure. It's a security breach. Security's gonna get here anyway. Ah. The quarry that they always fill them in. Generally just secure and medical, like, they are telling me mutually exclusive, exactly.
Rydick here.
Why am I zoomed in so much?
Any trouble getting to the surface?
I'm really starting to miss transporters.
As long as this storm is around, you'd better learn to light shuttles. But if you can find the cause of the interference, we might be able to get back to transporting.
As if I needed another incentive. We both know there's a lot more than that riding on this.
Fair enough. You'll need to get in and out of the mine undetected, so I hope Minister Tylus can help in that regard.
So do I.
And to keep this covert, we'll refrain from contact unless absolutely necessary.
Understood. Rydick out.
Okay.
The ionic interference is coming from underground. I should find a safer way down there.
No, just fall down the big old pit. Anyway, every planet and moon seems to have a breathable atmosphere. There are different classifications, and yeah, there are a lot of habitable places. Some places are barely habitable.
I saw your shuttle
different
take off. Hopefully no one else did. It's good to see you. Even under these unfortunate circumstances.
When you called to give us a scan, it sounded like they caught you. I was worried you'd been hurt.
It was nothing I couldn't handle.
Lead the way. I'll fill
Romance
you
in
in
the
on what
mines.
we've learned about the situation.
Follow me.
The device Galvin and Sidron brought back from the mines is being used to control some sort of warp disruption weapon that has the Resolute trapped in Hotari space. According to our readings, the power source for that device is on this moon, at the specific coordinates I sent you.
These are the smooches from the Federation.
Sounds impossible, but explains the rumors of the Hotari controlling the ionic storm.
We strongly suspect the device was created by an ancient empire known as the Takan.
The Takan?
Once
the
nuts.
most powerful civilization in the galaxy, but they've been gone for over 600,000 years.
It's hard to believe there's something like that on Tau.
Which is why I need proof. If we find hard evidence
Politically
that
neutral
Galvin and his
smooches.
allies are hiding dangerous Takan technology, I can convince the Federation to let us intervene.
Understood. We're almost there.
I'll retract myself for that joke if I could be bothered. And then that's pretty cool art.
That's the mine?
Prospect 614 North, Subdivision 20.
It's enormous.
Just one of the thousands across Tau. The pride of Hotari.
How do we get inside?
The structure that circles the mine has entry points for transporting equipment into the lower levels. They're guarded, but nothing I can't get past using my authority.
Well, that's good to hear.
As long as you can avoid being seen, I should be able to talk my way past any miner. And provide a little distraction for you in the process.
How do I avoid being seen?
You don't use the door.
Okay.
How dare you! Don't you know who I am? I am Tylus Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
That's not...
The Queen would be furious to hear you tried to deny me entry.
the Queen. But I just...
You just what? Just now realize the trouble you've made for yourself? And who exactly do you think you're going to report this to? Because I'll be reporting it as well, to someone much further up the ladder. You have no authority. Do you understand who pays your wage? I can inform the Queen directly.
Fucking going all Karen on him.
You'll regret everything you've said here today. You should have opened the doors the second I appeared before you.
That's not the protocol. I didn't know...
Each second you delay my entry will be recorded and processed and permanently marked on my record. I can't believe this. Does your brain function? Do you speak our tongue?
I have orders.
Force field. Looks like it was installed recently. No safe way around it.
The end of my patience. Escort me to the Queen's Bay.
I told you I can't just...
Now.
But fine.
A wise choice.
How do I... There's something to scan, I don't know what. Out of range. I'll just get much closer.
Okay. Let's get a look inside you.
This presents solid matter. Going to focus on pattern force. Motivation. Okay.
Full system access.
Speak your space management.
Bingo. Better hurry. Not sure how long she can keep him busy.
Store. There's something over here, wasn't there?
Something in here is keeping that door closed.
Really? Personnel. Okay, cool.
Got it. Should remove the security check on the door.
Bustle and bustle of busy minds. Yeah. Didn't even change your fucking uniform to go all covert ops. Well, apparently just one dude. Yeah. He's a very well paid dude.
I didn't come here to educate an imbecile on royal protocol.
Of course not, Minister.
So I will be about my business here, and you will take yourself out of my
What
sight.
is the hacking revolution?
There you are.
You really let that guy have it.
It worked, didn't it? I'm used to having to throw my weight around. Hard to get anyone to listen to you otherwise.
I'm impressed. I didn't know you had it in you.
There's a lot you don't know about me. Underestimate me at your peril.
The catwalks were booby-trapped.
Galvin and Sidron have gone to great lengths to keep out the uninvited. Well, we're inside. Where do you want to start?
The ionic interference is coming from below us. We need to go
Van
deeper.
Harken, he took all the
This
mines.
goes down, at least to the changeover station. But we can't use it without DNA authorization from one of the guards.
I have an idea, but we need a few samples of DNA from the miners who work here.
Samples?
Fingerprints, sweat, blood.
Which will trick the machine and get us control of the lift.
That's the theory. Let's test it.
Alright. I want those.
What's in all these containers?
These contain mining supplies, tools, energy packs for machinery.
Shouldn't mining supplies be inside the mines?
It is troubling. If the workers here aren't mining...
But it's a very different game. Also, this reminds me of
There's DNA on this
the planet
console,
that you
but
pick
it's only
Tally up
partial.
from in Mass Effect 2.
Maybe because we're outside.
The
That
weather
voice is very
could
different.
dilute any DNA samples.
What about inside that structure? That's where the workers spend most of their time.
Good idea.
I think they forgot to put the editing into those voice lines. Aestrom? Yes.
Wow, that is a lot of DNA. I should look for the most concentrated spots. Not concentrated enough. I should try somewhere else. This'll work.
Why, they're moving? Atari fingerprint. That.
That's a stable DNA sample. It's only partial, but a few more should do it.
Okay, let's just keep searching around then through this system manner. How to person just naturally called rock, okay.
I can use this.
Oh, the consuming DLC in mission 2.
Good. That's another I can use. Just need one more sample.
Okay, this was a
Not
spit in a
enough.
jar.
Gotta keep looking.
Nope.
There's gotta be stable DNA here.
Food.
Perfect. That's enough to make the DNA profile. Time to go back to the lift.
Okay.
You're not coming inside?
There are some things I'd rather not smell.
Ah.
What was it saying here? It says
This facility doesn't seem well maintained.
yes, I'm definitely a person.
It worked.
Theory proven.
I'll get it started.
Ready?
I'm a little afraid of what we might find down there.
We'll be okay. I've survived worse than this.
Well, I haven't. I'll put my faith in you. For now.
You can see the rocks trying to phase up before they actually get to be seen.
Jara. No, stay back. There's a guard at the station. You'll have to hide.
Fucking move! The marker, yeah.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
You watch your tone with me. I'm Tylus Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs. I speak for the Queen herself.
This is a restricted area. No one gains access without the approval of Galvin
Wow,
or
second guard.
Sigurd.
Yeah.
Wait.
Jues Gawad Abawincha.
Let me go!
Are you all right?
I don't know.
Are you injured?
No, I thought if I could talk my way through like always, I'd be fine, but... I'm a diplomat. This isn't what I do. I've never even fired a weapon. This is just... It's real now. I wasn't ready for this.
Hey, I'll keep you safe.
Can you?
I was a tactical officer before I was posted to the Resolute. I know my way around a phaser. You saw how I handled our large friend here.
I suppose that is somewhat reassuring. My authority has never been challenged like that. It meant nothing to him.
So we should assume any Hatari we encounter from here on can't be reasoned with.
Agreed. The only loyalty they have down here is to Galvin and Sidron.
Alright, time to shoot.
Can you switch over the lift?
The guard should have a scan card that will allow us to operate the switch.
Look at this glowing thing. Well,
that's some serious armor.
Conditions in the mines are harsh, even for Hotari.
towards I find them myself. True.
An Illydian disruptor.
I assume the miners took weapons from the Illydians before they fled the mines.
That explains some of how the uprising happened, but not enough.
Should we take it with us?
No. My phaser is more efficient. Unless you want it.
Oh no. Weapons aren't my thing.
Her voice actor is actually pretty good. That's not a
Got
key
it.
card, that's a Game Boy.
He's not dead, is he? He's still one of my people, and I didn't come here to take Otari lives.
My phaser's set to stun. He'll be perfectly fine, just unconscious for a while.
I see. We don't have that sort of technology on our weapons.
Good to know.
Oh, look at that, just so junk. Down, down, down by the mines. That means they're all set to lethal. Yep. When is the next save going to happen? Because we're reaching the end of the stream.
The energy readings are emanating from this tunnel.
I need to leave it here when I get control
It's sure
again.
to be guarded in there. Stay low and follow my lead.
Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it there. Everyone seems to be smiling. Still don't know who that is. Cool. Let me just put it to end stream. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Let's see if anyone is online. So I shall leave it there. I shall see you guys next time. Take care.